Ah, welcome to the underground, you rebel scum. This is the American Expat, not live. Remember, I'm working out doing these films during the day and then doing one live per week. Usually, it'll be on Friday. It'll be Friday evening. That seems to be the best spot for when I can actually do something like this. But wow, what a crazy time. Boy, the circus just keeps on going, doesn't it? I mean, the greatest show on earth, sort of, except that all of our lives are in the mix. Yes, the United States. The United States of America, democracy, republic, whatever you want to call it, representative government where we send people to Washington to make decisions for us based on what they think we would want. Not a dictatorship at all. Or is it? Anyway, more on that coming up in just a second, so stick around. Coffee's especially strong today. Well, maybe I need to start doing the. Normally I make this stuff, I get like a double espresso mixed with milk. There's a lot more to it. It's not like I'm just dumping milk in there, which is fine. If you just like plain old coffee with milk. But, I've got all the equipment to do all the stuff, so I make a cappuccino usually. I'm not good enough with the frothy milk stuff to make any sort of art if I wanted to have a latte or something like that. Maybe someday. I'm just glad I'm able to get the milk right. But in this case, I literally just poured milk into this one. So I'm going old-fashioned. But double espresso, making it especially strong. I mean, it's amazing how strong considering the amount of coffee that actually goes into the cup. But yeah, it's quite effective. Maybe I shouldn't drink this. I think it's like drinking 4 cups of regular coffee all in one go. Quite strong. Maybe a little too strong. Just the same. Dictatorship. Something that we think of in other places, where they don't have elected officials or they have pretended elected officials who then go out and make decisions on behalf of everyone, whether it means they live or die or whatever. But not here in the United States, surely. Well, I hate to break it to you, but you are living in a dictatorship. A climate dictatorship, in fact. I'm speaking specifically of John Kerry, who's been in the news lately because he's been at this COP meeting, not for police officers, but for the climate stuff. And he, all on his own, decided that the United States is going to get rid of all coal power. I believe by 2030, something like that. You guys can correct me in the comments. Which, by the way, before we get any further in this, be sure to comment down below. Leave your 2 cents. I'm not an expert at anything, so it does help to share your knowledge with us. Yeah, leave it down there. Anyway, John Kerry, who we voted for. No, we didn't vote for. Who was appointed by our elected representatives in Congress to go. Nope, he wasn't selected by them either. He was sent to be this guy by Joe Biden, the president. And he's making decisions that everyone will benefit. No, we won't benefit from it. Now, I have to be honest, Okay, you want to get rid of coal power, whatever. Okay, let's get rid of coal power because it's dirty, right? Okay, clean air, clean water, and all that stuff. Now, if you're going to do something like that, I would think that you would have like a plan, right? Like, okay, we're going to get rid of coal power and we have this, and this in place, or we're going to be building this to take its place so that we have enough electricity. Never mind if you're somehow connected to that industry, which is pretty much everyone. I mean, when you get like the pipe fitters and all that stuff and the manufacturing that goes into making the coal plants, the coal mines, all the stores that benefit from the people who get paid from that, all the bills being paid by that money. I mean, just never mind that part. I mean, really, I'm sure John Kerry doesn't really have time to think about that. But, let's at least look at the power grid because, grandma and grandpa and everybody else, they rely on that power to have heat in their home or to have air conditioning when it's hot outside or to cook their food or to run their medical equipment. Surely we wouldn't be doing something like this without a plan in place, right? Um, apparently we are. Apparently we don't have any kind of plan in place. And don't even get me started on the renewables. We're just going to put up a bunch of wind farms. That doesn't work. That does not fill the gap of coal. I'm looking at this in amazement. I mean, we're here in the United States, and we're dealing with Maoism. You literally have people doing the same kind of stuff that Mao did. I mean, things are dramatically better in the People's Republic of China now compared to what they were when Mao was in charge. Literally, he just comes up with these whimsical ideas about, well, now we're going to be an industrial society, so we're going to pull all the farmers out of the fields to go work in the factories because that's the future, and never taking any thought about who's going to grow the food. Now, they did, but they were people making these decisions that had no idea what they were doing. So in their case, in China, when they decided to do something kind of like what our government's doing now, they said, well, we'll just plant the crops closer together and deeper down, and then we'll have greater yield, which didn't work. It definitely didn't work. They had a huge famine. Now, of course, the government, Mao, could not admit that their great ideas weren't working out, so they found a scapegoat. In their case, they blamed sparrows or something like that and sent the people out to kill all the sparrows, which actually led to that giant plague of grasshoppers that ate up what was left, and millions of people died. Well, we're dealing with something very similar. We have this dictator guy who seems to have more power than the president, than Congress, than anybody else, because he, all on his own, can go represent the United States of America in an unelected capacity and then decide we're just going to get rid of coal power. We're just going to do it. Never mind all the people that are going to die. Now, there is a darker path that you could take with this, that some people are definitely going down, where that is exactly what they want, is for people to go away. He isn't worried about grandma and grandpa and everybody else who's reliant on that coal power energy that's being produced. He's not worried about that because they're not going to be part of the picture, if you understand where I'm going with that. That's pretty terrifying. I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think it is? Is it that these people are just simply incompetent, they're morons, or is it that they're evil, or is it some combination of both? Leave your comment down below about that one. Is John Kerry a dictator? Let me know. It's pretty crazy what they're doing. Again, if you're on the side of like, well, we got to do something. We're putting all of these emissions into the atmosphere, and we've got to do something. Okay. Then let's come up with a plan. Let's not just say, well, we're just going to shut it down. It's kind of like that scene in Ghostbusters, where like the guy comes in, I don't care what you think, just shut it off. And they're trying to warn him, like, hey, if you turn off the machine, then it's going to blow up and ghosts. Well, they don't say ghosts are going to go everywhere, but they say it's going to blow up. It's like, I don't care, just shut it off. And then they do, and it blows up. Is it something like that? Boy, that's funny because it was the EPA guy. Here we go again, just shut it off. Wow. There's something seriously wrong in the country today. Our government does not seem to have any sort of sovereignty whatsoever. The Congress, all of you people in Congress who are definitely not listening to what I have to say, don't you see what you've done? You have no power now. You are worthless. There is no point to you because somebody that's appointed by the president can just go and do whatever they want. It's my understanding that Congress is supposed to make all the rules and all the stuff, and then the executive branch exists to carry out those rules, to go and enforce it, or to with as far as the EPA is concerned. Okay, we created the EPA. These are our concerns with the environment. Now you guys have to go and enforce that. And somehow we've moved away from that, and instead the EPA is making its own rules and basically acting as a dictatorship of some kind over that part of the country. How did we get here? I mean, there's no real freedom whatsoever. We don't have. Well, boy, I'm getting ahead of myself. This coffee must be really strong. As a people, you and I, as citizens, as people here in this country, we don't matter at all. Our government doesn't care about us at all. And there's a large section of the population that it seems that they would like to just disappear because they're inconvenient. Again, you guys are going to have to let me know what you think about all this. This is absolutely insane, if you ask me. Climate dictatorship. I don't know what to do. I mean, it's so frustrating because it's like they're operating like the early stages of a communist dictatorship where they just start throwing out all these crazy ideas that lead to millions of deaths. And I'm looking at the actual communist country and I don't see them doing this. They're not doing this kind of stuff. Sure, they crack down on the people, and they're doing that here too. I mean, no free speech, but they're not doing things that just like throw everything in the garbage. Like, oh, we can, I'm sure that Mao might have been someone, he probably wouldn't have gone down that route, but it's the same sort of spirit. Like, never mind reality. We want to save the world from humanity. And that, I think, is really what it's all about. Anyway, yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. By the way, I mentioned in the last video taking $100 and trying to grow it into something. Apparently nobody cared about that because I didn't get any. I got one comment, one response about that, suggesting to invest in AI cryptocurrencies, which maybe I was thinking more along lines of building something that can actually make money, like my own thing. I'll look into it a little bit further. I'll let you guys know what I end up deciding to do. It'll be interesting. At least to me, it'll be interesting. I'd like to see what I can do here in the United States. I've done business elsewhere, and it's worked out pretty well. But I've not made much of an attempt here in the United States. It always seems like there's just too much in the way. There's so many rules, and it's so inflexible. It just you can't do anything. It's like they're literally like they're trying to snuff it out before it ever gets anywhere, Oh, heaven forbid we have some businesses start growing up in this country. I mean, that would maybe, create competition or something like that. Who knows? We'll have to talk more about that in another video because I think it's a serious problem that we're facing. It comes down to these same dictator people. They're making all these rules, and they don't really care about you and I. Anyway, I've blabbed on long enough. I'm going to go ahead and end it here. Remember, leave your comments down below. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on all this crazy stuff. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
ไฟพะวงหลงเฝ้าสาวเจ้าบางประกงทางห้วยงงหลงเกอหาโอเวรกรรมจำพราก